The air at the Etihad Stadium was thick with anticipation yesterday, May 20th, 2025. Manchester City faced Bournemouth in a crucial Premier League fixture. This was not just another game on the calendar. It carried significant weight for both teams, though for vastly different reasons. City, ever the title contenders, sought to solidify their position at the league's summit. Bournemouth, always a spirited opponent, aimed to cause an upset and gather valuable points. The floodlights blazed, illuminating the perfectly manicured pitch. Fans filled the stands, their voices already beginning to build a chorus of support. This encounter promised drama and skill, typical of England's top flight. The Premier League season was reaching a critical juncture. Every point, every goal could shift the balance of power. Manchester City, under their astute management, knew the importance of a home victory. They needed to demonstrate their championship credentials once more. Bournemouth, however, would not be mere passengers. They came prepared to fight, to challenge City's dominance. The pre-match warm-up showed focused intensity from both sets of players. The stage was set for a memorable evening of football. The supporters were a sea of sky blue, waving flags and scarves. Chants for Manchester City echoed around the ground. There was also a palpable undercurrent of emotion, a feeling that went beyond the usual match-day excitement. This was due to the widespread understanding that a club legend might be gracing the Etihad turf for one of his final appearances. The blend of competitive tension and heartfelt sentiment created a unique atmosphere. It was a reminder that football is about more than just results. It's about stories, heroes and farewells. The teams emerged from the tunnel to a roar. Handshakes were exchanged, the referee blew his whistle and the game commenced. From the outset, Manchester City looked to impose their style. They moved the ball with precision and pace. Bournemouth, well organised, aimed to absorb the early pressure and hit on the counter-attack. The tactical battle lines were drawn. Every pass, every tackle, every movement was scrutinised by the thousands in attendance and the millions watching worldwide. This was Premier League football at its most engaging, a spectacle of athletic prowess and strategic thinking. Manchester City did not take long to assert their authority on the game. Their passing carousel began to click, probing the Bournemouth defence for openings. The first goal arrived with a flourish of attacking brilliance. A swift interchange of passes down the left flank unlocked the visitors' rearguard. The cross was inch-perfect, met by a powerful header that left the Bournemouth goalkeeper with no chance. The Etihad erupted. It was a statement of intent from the home side, a clear indication of their attacking prowess. The early lead settled any nerves City might have had. The game continued, with City largely in control of possession. Bournemouth, to their credit, remained resilient. They defended deeply and sought to frustrate the City attackers. However, the relentless pressure eventually told once more. Before the half-time whistle, City doubled their advantage. This time, a moment of individual skill created the opportunity. A mazy dribble past two defenders, followed by a clinical finish into the bottom corner, showcased the quality within City's ranks. The fans were jubilant, sensing that the 3 points were drawing nearer. Bournemouth, despite the 2-goal deficit, emerged for the second half with renewed determination. They managed to pull a goal back, injecting a fresh wave of tension into the contest. A well-worked set-piece caught the City defence off guard, and a close-range finish gave the travelling supporters something to cheer about. Suddenly, the game felt more open. City knew they couldn't afford to be complacent. The visitors, buoyed by their goal, pressed forward with greater belief, searching for an equaliser that would stun the home crowd. However, Manchester City's quality ultimately shone through, quashing any hopes of a Bournemouth comeback. The decisive third goal for City was a testament to their teamwork and offensive capabilities. A sweeping move from defence to attack culminated in an unstoppable shot from the edge of the penalty area. This goal effectively sealed the victory, restoring City's 2-goal cushion and allowing the home fans to breathe a little easier. The 3-1 scoreline reflected City's dominance for large periods of the match, even if Bournemouth had their moments of threat. The match held a deeper significance beyond the scoreline, centred around Kevin De Bruyne. The Belgian maestro, a true architect of City's recent successes, was making what was widely acknowledged as his farewell appearance in front of the home supporters. Every touch, every pass from De Bruyne was met with an extra cheer. The admiration and affection for him were evident throughout the stadium. He played with his usual commitment and vision, dictating the tempo in midfield and trying to carve open the Bournemouth defence. The occasion was clearly an emotional one for him and for the fans who had witnessed his genius for so many years. As the game progressed, De Bruyne continued to be a focal point. He orchestrated attacks, his passes splitting lines and creating chances. However, one moment stood out for an entirely different reason. Presented with what seemed like a straightforward opportunity, an open goal beckoning, De Bruyne uncharacteristically scuffed his shot wide. A collective gasp went around the Etihad, followed by a moment of stunned silence. It was a rare blemish from a player renowned for his clinical precision. The miss was so un-De Bruyne-like that it almost added to the unique nature of the evening. De Bruyne's reaction to the missed open goal was immediate and telling. He held his head in his hands, a look of disbelief etched on his face. Later, he would candidly state, "Terrible, no excuses." This honesty and self-criticism, even in a moment of personal emotion and team victory, spoke volumes about his professionalism and high standards. The fans, understanding the pressure and the occasion, quickly turned any groans into supportive applause. They appreciated his effort and his immense contribution, regardless of that single surprising miss. It was a human moment for a player often described as superhuman. When the time came for De Bruyne to be substituted, the Etihad rose as one. The applause was deafening, a heartfelt tribute to a player who had given so much to the club. He walked off slowly, acknowledging the fans on all sides of the ground, a poignant smile mixed with evident emotion. His teammates embraced him, and the coaching staff offered their own commendations. It was a farewell fitting for a legend, a moment of pure football sentiment that transcended the result of the match itself. The victory was sweet, but De Bruyne's goodbye was the lasting memory for many. The 3-1 victory for Manchester City was crucial in the context of the Premier League title race. Securing all 3 points at home against a determined Bournemouth side reinforced their credentials. It kept the pressure on their rivals and maintained their momentum as the season approached its climax. Each win at this stage is vital, and City delivered a professional performance to get the job done. The goals were well taken, and despite a brief scare when Bournemouth pulled one back, City's overall superiority was clear. This result would have sent a strong message across the league. For the fans, the victory was, of course, welcome. The primary objective of any match is to win, and City achieved that with a degree of comfort in the end. The cheers for the goals were loud, the relief at the final whistle palpable. However, the prevailing emotion as supporters left the Etihad was undoubtedly linked to Kevin De Bruyne's departure. The win felt like a fitting send-off for such an influential player. Many conversations on the concourses and on the journey home would have centered on his incredible career at City and that surprising missed chance. The impact of the match extends beyond the immediate league standings. It marked the end of an era for Manchester City with De Bruyne's farewell. His contribution to the club's trophy-laden period cannot be overstated. His vision, his passing range, his goals and his leadership have been instrumental. Replacing a player of his caliber will be an immense challenge. The victory provided a positive backdrop for his goodbye, ensuring he left the Etihad pitch as a winner one last time in front of his adoring public. The club will move forward, but his legacy will endure. Looking ahead, Manchester City will continue their pursuit of silverware, buoyed by this important win. Bournemouth will regroup and continue their fight in the Premier League. But for those present on May 20th, 2025, the game will be remembered for two things: a vital 3 points and, more significantly, the emotional farewell to one of football's modern greats. The echoes of the applause for Kevin De Bruyne will linger long after the details of the 3-1 scoreline fade slightly from memory. It was a night where sporting triumph and human emotion intertwined beautifully.